Cinema.
Welcome back to War with Cinema. I'm your host, Greg, your local metalhead, and with me is...
Part of the Collector. What's up, everybody?
And I gave you Possessor.
Yeah, man.
2020, David Cronenberg's son, Brandon Cronenberg.
Dude, this movie, it's crazy as shit, man.
Yeah.
It's
So this is one of those movies that popped up in my little group. I kept seeing it over and over because people were buying it and talking about it. And I was like, fuck it, let me check it out. Let me see what it's all about. I bought it. Well, the wife actually bought it for me off my wish list. And I watched it and I fell in love with this movie. I'm mad that I didn't see it sooner.
Is this his first movie?
I think it's his second.
Dude, he went in.
He killed it.
He swung for the fences for sure.
Yeah, he did. So talk about it. What's going on? What is this movie about?
It's about a lady that she works for some sort of corporation / government agency, I'm guessing, that infiltrates somebody's mind. They put her mind into another person's body.
Okay.
And they always do it with somebody that can get close to a high profile target.
Right.
And the movie starts off with a young woman sitting in front of a mirror. Mm-hmm. And she takes a needle by the way, I know you gave me the uncut version.
Yeah.
And I know why it's uncut. And now I got to see some shit that I don't want to see now.
Yeah, they apparently he had to cut a lot of the movie to be able to get it rated R in America.
Yeah, we'll get to that later. But yeah, let me put a pin in that right there. But no, yeah, she sticks about I'd say a good inch and a half needle. Pretty thick. It looked like you're plugging in headphones. That's what it looked like.
Yeah, right.
And she sticks it straight into her skull at the top of her head. And she's got this old school little Walkman looking knob thing, you don't know what it's doing. But she's sitting there and she starts laughing and then she starts crying and then she just looks pissed and then
cycling through emotions.
Yeah, and finally just she gets up and she just walks out of the room and it cuts to her standing in some lobby and she's just staring at this water fountain. And then a girl that's dressed similar to her calls out to her, Brittany or whatever your name is, where you been? Let's go. And they get on the elevator and they go up to this party. And she gets off the elevator and there's some big fat dude chilling by the bar, hollering at some bitches. And she walks by this food table and there's
knives and stuff.
Knives. And she picks up a steak knife. Or it doesn't show her picking it up, but you get it.
Yeah, you get the idea.
She got it, She goes to walk by this fat dude. She stops, turns to him, and sticks this dude in the fucking throat twice with this fucking steak knife with precision. Right through the fucking jugular. And then she doesn't just stop there, because he's going to fucking die either way. But she fucking stabs him probably another 60, 70 times.
Right.
In his chest, in his stomach, throat, neck, all that. Turning the blade almost every other time. Thought that was crazy too. Mm-hmm.
Super gory.
Yes, very gory.
See, there's a difference between there's gore that's kind of that's kind of funny, it's so gory, and then there's realistic gore, and that's kind of what this movie was.
Yeah, there's gangster gore that I like to say, when you watch somebody get their head blown off, you're like, oh, that's kind of sick. All right, cool. And then there's this, and it was just really nailing home the fact that I am murdering the fuck out of this person.
Right.
Happens about 4 to 5 times in this fucking movie. But yeah, so then she has the gun. She pulls the gun out, and I'm just like, wow, you just did all that. And you could have shot this motherfucker in the face and been done with it. Mm-hmm. And she's trying to pull the trigger. She's really trying to pull the trigger. Yeah,
she says, take me out, and then puts the gun in her mouth.
Mm-hmm. And she can't do it. And luckily, a bunch of cops come in because whoever she just killed is pretty important. And she points the gun at the cops and they fucking air her out. And then, dude, I thought that was really crazy. That other cop, she's still sitting there looking, breathing, and shoots her right in the fucking face, man. And it looks so fucking realistic because the way her face puffed up, that's how that shit looks, And that's what I want to give out. If this movie doesn't win any Academy Awards for fucking like special effects, you know what I mean? Like that's a crime because there was some crazy realistic shit in this movie.
Yeah, fun fact, he wanted to do as much practical as he could. There's like very little to no like CGI in this movie.
I've never seen that before, dude. That it real deal looked like she shot him in the face. Like, or he shot her in the face.
Right.
Like, I thought it was insane.
Yeah.
Felt like I was watching like a fucking cartel video or something. It was crazy.
A very high quality cartel video.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Well produced.
Very, very well. Yeah. Great shot. Anyways, the movie is fucking visually stunning.
I love it. Yeah.
That's one thing I will say that he picked up from his daddy is he learned how to fucking make a shot.
Right.
And another thing that I think he took from his dad is like lingering on a fucking shot. Like that's probably my biggest complaint about this movie. It was just kind of like spacing, like just how long it was.
That's to build like emotion. Like you're supposed to like feel something in that moment, and that's why they linger on shots because they're
It took him 5 minutes to turn around. Sometimes I'm just like, what the fuck, dude? Like, I don't know. As I said, you could have chopped about 15, 20 off this movie. I would have enjoyed it better.
No, I think it's perfect the way it is.
Maybe not 15, 10.
Just from the long pauses.
Just stop lingering, dude.
Nah, I like it.
Anyways.
That's kind of like Stalker. Stalker was nothing but linger. They should have just
that
renamed it
whole movie
Lingering.
was a linger, bro. Like they should have called that movie fucking Linger. Not Stalker, Linger. But this movie, dude, fucking crazy shit. So anyways, cops fucking blow her head off and she comes back into this room. It's like an operating room. They pull this fucking big old Court of Owls mask off of her with tubes and shit coming off of it, and she's got fucking
tubes and shit
coming out her face, and she's fucking throwing up blood and pretty gnarly. Like I said, there's some nasty shit in this movie.
And then that's when the shot goes to her and the girl like not interviewing, but like studying her.
It's like her supervisor.
Right. And she's like, well, what is this? She's pulling items out of a box.
Yeah,
having
because
her like
to
remember.
make sure that she's all the way separated from the person she was in.
Yeah,
like
to make sure
body.
she's back to reality.
Yeah, make sure her subconscious and theirs are like completely or whatever.
Yeah.
Or what do they call it? Your consciousness? Yeah, to make sure her consciousness is completely separated from the other. But and then they always throw something in at the end and they're like, is this she's like, what is that? And she's like, this isn't mine. She's like, very good. Because like, I guess they put it in there to make sure that, you know.
She's not bullshitting.
Right.
But there is one item that she pulls out that's kind of significant is the butterfly.
Yeah.
She pulls out this butterfly. She said, this is a butterfly I killed when I was a little girl. I felt guilty and I still feel guilty.
And I put it in this case to remind myself.
She didn't say all that.
She didn't?
No.
Oh, dude.
But
well, she said she did hang it or whatever. She mounted it or whatever.
Right. But she says it again later in the movie, and we'll get to that. I just wanted to like.
Yeah, I picked that up too.
Oh, okay.
I picked that up too.
Okay.
This one, dude, I was really surprised. I was like, Greg might have fucked up. He thinks I didn't get it. Like this one would have went over my head or something.
Not that you didn't get it. I just you usually don't like these kinds of movies that are super like. Puzzly.
You know what? They threw enough shit in here that the par likes, bro. That I didn't mind. A lot of good fucking action in this movie, bro. Dude, you see chicks get railed like 3 different times in this movie, and it's graphic, son.
Right.
Couple dicks too. Like I'm not a huge fan of just dicks popping up in movies, but like they were for real deal fucking in that one scene, man. Where he's like looking at the fucking drapes. That was weird. I don't understand what that was about.
So I think that's
his only job is to like.
So I think it's a data collecting job, and what they're doing is they're hijacking cameras like phones, webcams, stuff like that, and they're seeing what people have in their houses to like sell that information to other companies. I think that's what that is.
I figured it was that, or it was whatever like Google box or whatever that person had in their home. They were looking through to see like what kind of shit they had so they could make more of it or get some.
Well, it's kind of the same idea. Right. Yeah. It's like, this is what people like. This is what people have. So make more of this.
So she comes out, she does the interview and she goes home. But the last thing her and the lady talk about, she's like, we got another job coming up soon. How do you interested? Do you want to do this? This is going to be next level shit. We're going to get paid pretty good off of this. And she's like, I need some time away. Mike wants me to take some time away. She's like, you and Mike are separated.
No.
And she's like, of course we're separated. I knew that. She's like, but we're thinking about getting back together. And she's like, you don't need to do that. She's like, you told me that you were a danger to them the last time you came out. And she was like, I did. And then it cuts to her sitting there, like at the beginning of the neighborhood. They live in like a cul-de-sac or something like that. And she's at the end of it. She's hitting this e-cigarette. And she's like, hey, darling. Yes, I'm starving. Hey, darling.
She's like practicing how to be herself.
Right, because she's been this other person.
Yeah, because apparently whenever she does those conscious transfers, it's like she loses a little part of herself. So she has to like relearn some things. I noticed something through this movie, and I've noticed it recently. Why is everyone vaping? Like, are we?
Dude, I was that too. It was like a fucking hour and a half long vaping commercial, bro.
Yeah, exactly. Like, have we completely gotten rid of the whole idea of cigarettes? Like, I like a good cigar sometimes in
this
a movie.
Seemed like a movie that was like made, like it was supposed to set time and like somewhere 5 years from now.
Right, super soon. Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like everything that they were doing. Like
it doesn't
everybody.
Seem super far fetched either. That's
Even
the
the
scary
rich
part.
people. Oh yeah, because eventually they're gonna outlaw cigarettes, bro.
Yeah,
and you're only gonna be able to vape.
Yeah,
or
I think so
just
too.
Not. You know?
I just don't understand why they're putting vaping in movies. Like, do we really need all that, or is there vaping culture?
Same reason why people used to put smoking cigarettes in movies.
Yeah.
Make it look fucking cool, so you go buy that shit.
There's more I want to talk about it with. We're going to do a mini review of another movie, but there's something I want to talk about vaping wise in that one too.
Right.
But I'll just save it for later. So anyway, she's practicing being herself before she goes and talks to her ex-boyfriend.
Her husband, but like you said,
it's
they're
separated.
But yeah,
and
they have a great night with their kid and some friends. And he's like, "I'm sorry, I didn't expect everybody to stay so long." And she goes to open a bottle of wine, and she's like, "Well, why don't you tell them to leave?"
Right.
With no fucking like, it was like she's not looking forward to it at all. Like she's going to a funeral and not getting fucked. And he's just going to work on her ass, and she's just dead faced, dude.
Right.
But
because she's fantasizing about the like murder.
Yeah. Well, I would say fantasize. Well,
not fantasizing.
At first, I don't think she's fantasizing about it. I think she's just like kind of like fucked
processing,
up.
Yeah.
And because you could tell she's been at this for a while. She's like, and then the lady kind of foreshadow or like leans into it. She's like, you know, you're one of the best I've ever had.
Right.
You know, I want you to have my job when I hang it up, you know? So anyways, she has a great night. And then after she's done, she gets up in the middle of the night and she calls the lady that interviewed her, that pulled her out. And she's like, I'm ready to go to work. I'm ready to meet up.
Yeah.
And then her husband's like, who was that? And she's like, it was work. They need me to go away again. And he's like, I want you back. This sucks. This is terrible. He's like, me and your son. He's like, we want you home. And he's like, you said you were going to ask for some time away. And then it cuts back to her back at work doing the research on the guy that she's about to take over his consciousness next. I got a real Manchurian Candidate vibe out of this movie. Like, very, like, because that's kind of the same principle. They were taking over people that could kill, like, politicians and shit for them.
True, yeah.
But, yeah, anyways, the same shit.
I was trying to look up the lady. Her name is Voss.
Yeah, it's a weird-ass name.
Her supervisor or whatever.
Voss Taver.
Yeah,
yeah.
so.
Yeah, the first couple times I thought she was saying, hey, boss. Like, she was, like, telling her that she was the boss. You know? But, so she goes in and she takes over this guy's body who dates a billionaire's daughter, an heiress.
Yeah.
And she doesn't care about the money, really, but, like, she still lives off daddy's money. But he's an asshole, and he works for the dad's company, but it's, like, a shit job where he does the data collection, which we hinted on earlier.
Yeah, he used to do a drug dealer back in his day.
Yeah, he dealt coke for a couple of years.
Right, and so he's trying to like get straight, you know, clean up his act, and have a respectable job.
Right, and so he goes to work, he goes to work at this company where all he does all day is like,
God,
look at
that
people.
sounds the most like miserable job I've ever seen in my life. Like because later a little bit later, he's like, yeah, they said you got to work Saturday and we're going to be doing lampshades. Like, that sounds so like mind numbing. Yeah. I could not do that.
The boss really likes you being with his daughter or something like that. So, she's researching him, and I guess when they take it over, they can either give you like motor skills, or they could give you like all their vocabulary, like how they talk and shit. Like, because she's learning the phrases that he uses the most, and learning how to talk to the girl because he has to be convincing. She has to be convincing that that's him, you know?
Right.
So like even down to like how he hugs her and shit and stuff like that, like the way he says I love you and the way he does things. And then they kidnap old boy and they put the thing in his head.
Yeah, a little chip.
And she goes in for prep, and they put her into him, and the whole process of the way it showed her consciousness, it was like her body kind of broke down into like liquid and then like reformed again in his body. It was pretty cool how they showed that. Like I said, like this movie did a lot of, you know, cool shit to look at. So like I think it should get something for that.
Right. It had a very like Chucky or Child's Play vibe whenever they're melting Child's Play. I don't know. I thought it was cool.
It was pretty cool. So she wakes up in old boy's body, and you start seeing her. She keeps trying to grab like this little light.
It's like a little white piece of lint. And what's your interpretation?
I think that was the person whose body it was. I think it was they're trying to get out, like they're a little bit of them left in them.
Yeah.
And she was grabbing it, not knowing, and that was helping the host take back over.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's a few people's other interpretation of it as well.
Because, you know, it doesn't seem like this guy would be like much of a fighter, but he's like fighting hard. Like he doesn't want his fucking brain taken over by this bitch, you know? And she's also fucked up. And like the more the movie goes on, the more you kind of figure out like, oh, this bitch has been through some shit. Like she's done this too many times. Like she's fucked.
Yeah.
She doesn't know how to close the deal anymore. Like that's the problem. The guy even told her right before he puts her under, he's like, don't forget to pull the trigger on yourself this time. She's like, what the fuck does that mean? And he's like, nothing, you know, and just goes back to work. Like, because I'm guessing that she was having a hard time killing the host because she feels bad enough. I just ruined their fucking lives by making them do this. Like, I don't want to kill them, you know, too.
Well, yeah, exactly. She's feeling remorse. And the thing is that's weakness for her because it's allowing the person that she's taking over to like take back control. That's why she can't pull the trigger because the other person's not letting her.
Right.
Because she's getting weak.
Like, fucking do it. Just fucking do it. It's really crazy, man. Like it was a different twist on something like that. Like I'm not going to say like I've seen like 100 movies that they do this idea.
Yeah, but it's done a few times.
Right. The one with this, and then the one with Ryan Reynolds, Ben Kingsley. I saw that one. And then Get Out. Like that one kind of reminded me of it too a little bit.
Something, it's not necessarily the same, but The Thing.
Yeah.
You know, that thing that, you know, that was kind of the same concept.
But yeah, I thought it was a different take, and it was like I said, it was very graphic.
Yeah, it's very graphic.
But like I said, other than the lingering shots and shit, but anyways, we go back to that. So she becomes the dude, and she goes and she has 3 days. It cuts back and forth to her being him, and then her getting that meeting with the lady, and they're like, "Oh, you know, you have 3 days to kill the dad, kill the girlfriend, and then kill yourself. That way the stepson can take over because there's nobody left to." She's like, "This is the big one. You know, this is what's going to take us to the next level as a company." Corporate said that we'll own that company.
Yeah.
Because we'll own him.
Right.
So there's, of course, power play here. And I think she's just war torn. And she's done it too many times. And she can't hold on to the host anymore. And this guy fights her for it, and she kills. First of all,
So who is the dad?
The dad is fucking 006, bro. Sean Bean.
Yeah.
Dude.
And I think that was like a purposeful casting because what happens to Sean Bean in all his movies?
He gets killed.
He gets killed in all his movies. So I think it's kind of like, I don't know. It was an interesting casting choice.
He didn't die in this one, though.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like whenever you see Sean Bean, you're like, oh, of course he's going to die. But he doesn't. Spoilers.
I think he was like better off.
Right.
So she has to make the boyfriend look unstable.
Yeah.
So she ends up fucking the chick. which is
It's a weird mind fuck if you really like
it's
think
so
about
weird,
it.
because
you're a girl
yeah.
in a guy's body fucking a girl. It's like, that's, I don't know, it mind fucks me if I think about it for too long.
Dude, that shot where it pans out and it's her with the dick.
Mhm.
Like, I was like, what the fuck, man? But yeah, that part of it, I was like, oh yeah, he definitely picked that shit up from the old man. Like, very Cronenberg shit in this movie.
Definitely, yeah. He's picked up a lot of tricks from his dad, but I like that he's doing his own thing too.
Oh, he definitely put his own twist on it.
Right.
But anyway, so she's getting close, but then they go to a dinner party at the dad's house. And this is where she goes downstairs and she tells her supervisor, she's like, all right, I'm at the party. This is where I do it tonight, you know. She's like, make a scene, get into it with him, and then make sure you come back and handle business later. So she goes over there, and the dad John Beaton does a very mockingly thing to him earlier at the party. Oh, this is my daughter's boy toy or some shit like that. He's like, I gave him a job that I think isn't within his capabilities. It's not too hard for you, is it? It just like pretty much saying, you know, you're a fucking idiot.
Right.
And you're not good enough for my daughter. So then she starts getting fucking hammered. Starts doing it, you know, and then goes in, or I guess she thinks she's drunk, but she's not, I guess. He gets thrown out of the party, and then right before, you know, the girl, the daughter is, of course, trying to be like, oh my God, stop, I love you. And he's like, fucking bitch, you stupid fucking bitch. They fucking throw him out on his ass, which they don't throw him off the property. They just throw him out front.
Yeah, just throw him out the front door.
So
yeah.
he just walks around the side, waits for everybody to leave, you know, and then goes in there and, gets that. See, and that's another thing they ask her in the interview is, we gave you a pistol. Why'd you use a steak knife to kill him?
Because I feel like that's what she would have done.
That's what my character would have done.
Right.
And they're like, really? Because this girl was, you know, not like that at all. So, but it was just like, and then later on in the movie, you know, I think they tied that up pretty good too. But, so he's got the gun and you think, okay, he's just going to go in here and shoot the fucking dad, you know, and that'll be the end of it. Picks up a poker.
Yeah, a fire poker.
A fire poker.
Yeah.
Sits down with the gun. Tells him some you know, like some disrespectful ass shit.
Right. He's like, he puts the gun down. He's like, what is this? Get the fuck out.
Get the fuck out.
And he's like, why don't you make me? Because I'm drunk.
I'm drunk. I'm going to bed.
Right.
Like, which by the way, it was super balls on this fucking guy. I just had you thrown out on your ass. You broke in, which by the way, this guy's supposed to be like a fucking billionaire. You got better security than that?
Right.
Or I guess maybe he had the no means to get in.
Yeah, he probably knew the
being with the
codes
daughter.
and
That's what I'm thinking. That's what I would gather from that, because that's why they pick these people.
Because they're close to
the victim.
Right.
So beats the living fuck out of him with this fire poker and then sticks it in through the back of his fucking throat, through his mouth, and starts turning it. And there's teeth and fucking blood.
Yeah, we already kind of spoiled it, but like the first time I watched it, I'm like, oh yeah, he's definitely dead. And then later in the movie,
you hear because when she's with her family, right after she kills the first guy, the fat guy, there's a news report that she's listening to that person get murdered, and it turned out to be some head of a pharmaceutical company or some shit. Like,
right.
And that's why they had him offed, so somebody else could take over, or they could put somebody in, whatever.
But so watching it the second time, I was like, he didn't die from that. So he felt everything.
Yeah.
Could you imagine having a fire poker in the back of your throat just turning?
I don't ever want to feel it. Imagine it. It was tough watching it happen, bro. When she turned it, or when the dude turned it and the fucking teeth were just getting pulled out, like fucking, oh my God, I shivered.
Right.
I had to make sure my kids weren't like, stay in your fucking room. Don't watch
this is one of those movies I meant to say, like, don't watch this in front of you. I know you don't usually.
Well, when it said Uncut on it, and it's a movie that I don't know, like I already know it's not a mainstream movie, I'm like, okay, well, they went for the fences and this shit. And you're naming it Uncut. And I knew it was going to be graphic, so I was like, hey, babe, I just want to make sure the kids don't come in here, like, at all. Like,
Yeah.
Like, the movie's not that long, you know, so just like
I try to be mindful of that, but good thing they weren't.
Oh God, no, that would have scarred him. I don't know how I'm gonna fucking sleep tonight, honestly.
So then she takes the poker out and then digs his eye out of the socket.
Oof. But it's so crazy because I know we keep saying her and him. It's a chick in the dude's body, but it's the dude doing it.
Yeah, right.
And this
I just
guy
keep saying
like,
her because she's the one that's making this happen.
She's driving the car. She's driving the body. Whatever you want to call it. But and you just get this, and then at that moment when I saw her do that with the brutality she did, I said, okay, she's lost it. She's enjoying killing these people. Like, it's not a job anymore.
Well,
like,
not only that, but you're also picking people that, let's say she stopped having control. These people would still probably follow through with this because they're so angry with this person.
Right.
Like he hates yeah, exactly. He hates him so much that she can probably sit in the back seat and let him take over.
Right.
So I think that's a nice little tidbit too.
Yeah.
So they don't give any like pushback when the killing does happen.
Right. So then the daughter sees, and
yeah, she walks in with the poker in the back of his throat. Then he picks up the gun and fucking.
I didn't think he hit her.
I didn't think so either. The first time
it looked like
he
just hit the wall.
Right.
But then it goes back to work with the turning and shit, and then the eye, and then he walks down on the daughter, and you see she's been hit in the back twice, and she's doing everything in her power to try to get away, and she's not making it very far. And he shoots her in the back of the fucking head, very graphic.
Yep.
And he goes to pull me out.
Yeah, and this is like the turning part in this movie.
This is where this movie goes from like pretty much like what I would say like a mainstream movie to where it takes that Cronenberg turn.
Cronenberg turn, I like it.
Yeah, man. We're gonna get that copyrighted.
Yeah, right. Cronenberg turn.
And that was the creepiest shit. Watching their faces
split,
pull apart like fucking clay.
Yeah,
that was crazy.
That was super cool.
And it's kind of like a foreshadow for later on what that's gonna look like. But so then he's back in control.
Yeah,
and she's stuck in his mind.
Because what he does is he takes a piece of shard glass, and like kills
himself.
Kills the chip.
Oh, that's what it was.
Yeah, he stabs the chip and like kills it. So she like loses control, but she's still in there, but she just can't control anything. So yeah, he has control of his own body now, and he doesn't know what to do. So
he's like, did all this fucking happen? And then that's when you hear, because I guess he was a piece of shit after all. He was cheating with her friend and everything, because he goes to the friend's house and he's like, I did it so we could be together. She's like, what are you talking about? He's like, I left her and we had a big fight, so I can't go home. Can I stay here? And she's going to Chicago, and he's like, hey, can I stay here while you're gone, you know? And she goes to get in the shower, and you hear it on the news that Sean Bean lived. He didn't die. He lived. Fucking tortured. But the daughter was murdered. And he just, I forget if I think the news of hearing that his girl died, she kind of gets a little bit of control back because she goes back in there and then shoots the other fucking girl, the friend, because no witnesses. And then she goes to fucking kill herself and fucking can't do it, passes out. And she comes back and it's the guy's best friend, and it's him again. And he's like, hey, it's Eddie. And he fucking like tases him or some shit, or he shoots him in the back of the head with like this light bulb gun or something.
Yeah.
Knocks him out and brings back Vaz. He's like, I got you control. You're not all the way in the control. He's like, but I got you in control right now. And you see him combing through the subconscious. He's like, we're going to do a pulse test to see like how much in control you really are. He's like, it's going to feel like you can't breathe, but just try to keep breathing. And then you literally see him frame by frame while he's flicking the switch, and he's choking the fucking shit out of her, dude. And then crushes her fucking skull.
Yeah.
Cronenberg turn. Dude.
Cronenberg turned.
Then puts this bitch's face on like fucking Leatherface at Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And it is something that will fucking haunt you to look at.
It is. But I love the symbolicness of it.
Oh, yeah. It's like, he's like, oh, you want to play fucking games, bitch? Let's do this.
Yeah, he's in her head now.
Yep.
And I loved that.
But it's still in his body.
Right.
Which I thought was even fucking crazier.
It's a pretty like Inception.
So when he does that, he gets her fucking memories.
Mm-hmm.
And he doesn't know why this woman's in his head or how, but he just wants this bitch to pay.
Right.
So he goes to her fucking house. And he's like, oh, hey, I know you, kid. And he's like, is your mom home? Because he doesn't know that she's in his fucking head, like just in his head, like real deal in his head. She thinks that he's controlling her or some shit somehow, you know, probably. I don't know how you would reason with any of this if you're a normal person. I probably would have killed myself just off the fact that, like, yo, bro,
someone's in my head, yeah.
I'm clearly fucking insane. Like, obviously, I just killed everybody I love in my life. Anyways, but, so the son, of course, is freaked the fuck out. The dad's like, hey, get away from that fucking stranger. Mm-hmm. They go in the house, and then he busts into the house later on, and he's like, tell your wife to fucking show herself or I'm gonna fucking kill you. And he's like, do it, bitch, or I'm gonna fucking kill him. And like her little spirit, like the Doctor Strange spirit version of her, comes out of the fucking, you know, out of the mist, and she's like, don't fucking do this. Like, don't fucking do this. And he's like, what the fuck is this shit? Get the fuck out of my head or whatever. And she's like, do it. I don't fucking care. Just fucking do it. And then she gets control and she kills the fuck out of her husband. And then she's trying to kill herself again. And the fucking kid sticks her in the fucking neck with a blade.
Yeah.
Her child.
Right.
And she fucking shoots this kid, this little, like, I have a son about this age. Like,
I know.
Fucked up, Greg. This is the only thing I hated about this fucking movie, bro.
You know how, like, Kendra's always getting mad at me when I show her movies about, like, dogs dying? She's like, does a dog die in this movie? Because I don't want to watch it. Yours is like little.
Sad, but it's an animal, bro. I can get over that. Like,
yours is like little kids, though. Like, I'm just going to find all fucked up little kid movies.
Your baby watch Children Under the Fucking Stairs and, like, sequels to that. Right. Children of the Corn and shit. Anyways.
Exactly. So she shoots the son, but you realize
pull me out.
Yeah, you realize it's her boss, I guess, that was controlling the son.
And they both come out of it, and they're laying. And she looks over at Voss, like, I saved you, buddy, for old time's sake. And you think they're shutting her down? Like, she's done, man. This fucking ship's broke. No, they're interviewing her. And she doesn't even mention about feeling bad about all the killing she's done. That shit about the butterfly.
Yes, exactly. And that was the whole plan of the boss ladies. She wanted to kill, because she noticed that she's becoming weak. Killed
her humanity.
Exactly.
Now she's just a drone, like a killing machine.
Yep.
Like, you could put her in anything now.
Exactly. She doesn't have the ties to her.
She made her kill her husband and her child.
So she has nothing tying her to this life to, like, give a shit about anymore.
They're like, the brain damage she's taken is significant. She's like, get her out. He's like, we'll take care of this, but get her out.
Yeah.
Like, it's a fucked up, crazy fucking movie, dude.
It is a crazy movie, and I loved it.
Other than the fucking child getting murdered, and I was like, dude, no wonder you had to put Uncut, like, because there's no way this would have made it in any fucking theater in America. Shooting a fucking child with a gun.
Apparently, they had like a strict rating, and he had to cut some of it out just to get an R rating.
Yeah, this is. I don't even think NC-17 would take that. Like, when you kill kids in a movie,
right?
Yeah. Even any movie they do that, they always kind of cut away from it. They just kind of like leave you to your own
you know it happened, but they don't actually show it. But they show this kid getting shot. So, what'd you think of it?
I thought it was good.
Yeah.
I did.
I have to say, you're starting to analyze movies a little more than we used to when we first started. You're starting to look at movies differently.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's kind of like, I figure why you give me these, you know, because rarely ever, and usually when you do, you tell me like, hey, this is just a stupid movie I want you to have fun with.
Like Sasquatch Gang.
Because you feel bad because you used to keep mind fucking me with these mind bending guys going through fucking hell type of shit, and it used to drain me, bro, because we do 2-3 in a row, and I'm like, dude, I can't do it again. Like, you'd be like, so what'd you think of it? And I'm like, I don't know anymore. But yeah, I will say, like, and this one, like I said, man, there was enough shit in it. There was enough par stuff.
Par stuff.
There's enough par stuff in it that kept me interested, man.
I thought there was going to be.
Killing, and some of it was even a little brutal for me, dog. Yeah. I ain't gonna lie. But I enjoyed it for what it was. I thought it was a different take on something.
Cool.
It's definitely not 5 of those out there.
No,
I can
definitely.
tell you that. Like I said, it lingered a little bit. But I know that he picks that shit up from his old man.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought it was a solid effort, and I would be interested in seeing another movie this guy did.
Oh, definitely. This came out in 2020, so I guess we'll just wait and see what he does.
From what you said, it's like a big deal. Like,
there's in the like horror genre, people love this movie, and I see why.
To me, it wasn't much of a horror. To me, it was more of a thriller, sci-fi.
Thriller. I think that's why I liked it so much, because I love thrillers. I love being on the edge of my seat waiting to see what's going to happen.
I think maybe just because of the gore and the subject matter, they felt like they had to label it as a horror, but like...
I mean, it's not a horror. I'm just saying it's popular in the horror community.
But that's what it says on the...
Oh, does it?
On the genre. It says horror sci-fi.
Right.
Because I looked it up to see how long it was. I was like, if Greg gave me another fucking 3-hour movie, man, I'm going to fucking lose it. And I was like, hour 44. I'm like, all right, I got this shit. This is nothing. I've been scarred up. I don't even feel that anymore. But yeah, you want my rating, man?
Yeah.
I'm going to give it a 7.3.
Damn, that's pretty high. 7.3. Like how you're tiptoeing around.
Yeah. It was a 7.5 earlier, but then when we were going back and he killed the kid, I didn't fuck with that. So he gets 7.3, dude.
That's fair.
It was good, but it's not, obviously, for me, it's not one of those movies that I could watch like, once a month type of shit. Like,
right.
But it was good enough that I would watch it again.
Eventually, yeah.
Yeah, if somebody was like, hey, man, have you like, oh, bro, you know what? Put it on, dude. Like, that's a fucking crazy watch. We'll go down that rabbit hole today.
Right.
So, yeah, I'll give him that.
Nice. I give it a highly recommended, but with a caveat.
If you are into I feel like people have been listening to this podcast long enough. If you are into Greg's type of movies more, this is definitely something you'll enjoy. Yeah. Like, if you like the movies he picks, this is up your alley. If you're into my type of movies, this is definitely not one you're going to want to watch. But I like I said, we've been doing it long enough that I've kind of learned to look at it in a different lens.
Yeah, so, there's a lot of sexual content. There's a lot of gore.
Yeah,
there's a lot of
meat in it. There's a lot of good shit for you if you're just a fan of crazy shit like me.
Right. But I'm saying, like, if you're not into that kind of stuff, then you won't like this movie too much.
Yeah, it's very very extreme in its I don't know what I was say, violence.
Mm-hmm.
It's like purposely,
Exactly. But yeah, I give it a highly recommended.
But yeah, dude, I wanted to do a mini review. We've done a couple of them, but it's for a Time for a War with Cinema mini review. You told me about a movie. It was probably a couple episodes ago, maybe last episode. I don't remember.
I think it was last episode. I told you to watch I Care a Lot.
I Care a Lot. It's a Netflix movie starring Peter Dinklage, and I forget the chick's name, but she was in that movie with Ben Affleck, Gone Baby Gone.
Yeah.
And she played a crazy bitch in that, and she plays a crazy bitch in this one too. She scams old people out of their fucking things, out of their homes, and then makes them wards of the state, which is shitty enough. And it starts off with her fucking this guy not being able to see his mother. Her dad died. His dad died.
Did you recognize that guy?
He looked familiar.
Remember Murder Party?
Yeah.
He was the like wolf guy.
Really?
Yeah. I recognize him. I'm like, hey, he's getting a fucking career. Good for him. I'm proud of him.
That is good for him.
Yeah.
But so yeah, like they won't let him see his mom, and he's like telling the judge like she sold all my mom's shit. She gave away my mom's house. My mom's not crazy. She's not senile. She doesn't have dementia. She can take care of herself. They won't let me see her. And like the judge, I thought the judge would be in on it. Like that's the way they made it seem like, the judge was in on it. But it was really just, he was just a fucking idiot. And he believed everything.
Yeah, he's just a fucking idiot. Like, well, I mean, he has a doctor and a healthcare specialist. Right. Like, so he thinks, he doesn't there's no reason for him to think there's anything going on.
And she's been doing this for so long, and like she's made a name for herself of helping out the elderly.
Mm-hmm.
My biggest problem is, Your Honor, is I care too much. Like, she sold that shit so well, man.
Yeah, she did. But
I hated her character. She did such a good job. Like, I hated her character so much.
me too. Me too. I almost had to turn it off because I was getting so angry. I think I told you this before.
That was my wife. That was my wife. She was like, I can't stand this bitch. Like, I want something bad to happen to her.
Right.
Like, and so she one of her I forget what she calls them.
She's the healthcare facility, the doctor.
She's got a whole fucking old folks home on the payroll.
Yeah.
The guy that runs it literally drugs these old people so they can't escape.
Mm-hmm.
And
they're docile.
Yeah, and they don't cause too much of a problem because they're doped up, you know?
Yep.
And
if I get that old, please just do that to me. Dope me up. Put me in a room. Put some music on.
That's not how I want to go out, dog.
That's not how you want to go out.
That's not how I want to go
If
out.
I'm too old to like take care of myself, like
fucking shoot me. Take me out back and fucking shoot me.
No, just pump me full of like LSD and just let me.
Dude, I worked at an old folks home, man. That shit crushes your soul, bro.
I remember you telling me about this. Like, you told me a few stories.
I used to have to take breakfast and lunch trays to the Alzheimer's ward.
Mm-hmm.
And I get some of these people would be a danger. They can't live by themselves because they don't know who they are.
Right.
And it is, first of all, sad as fuck in that aspect that, you know, your mind just betrays you one day and you don't know who you are or what day it is or who the fuck you are. You know what I mean? You don't know that you have family. You don't know if they're coming to see you. You don't know if they're not coming to see you because you don't know who the fuck you are.
Yeah, right? It's so scary. I actually met a lady with dementia, like full-blown dementia. She's like, hey, you know, who are you? My name's Greg. I'm, you know, his son, whatever. Literally, probably about 5 minutes later, she's like, oh, what's your name? And I'm like, what? It's just sad. Really sad.
And it was shitty because there were some people that didn't have it too bad. Like, they could remember some stuff, you know, they hadn't been all the way, you know. But the ones that were real elderly, they were doped up and dumped in a hallway. And it was like a line of people. And sometimes they would kind of reach out, like, you know, they would kind of be cognate for a few minutes. And they'd be like, where am I at? Can you help me? Where's my son? Or like, where's my wife? Or some shit like that. And dude, as a fucking 19-year-old, I was not prepared to deal with that, bro. Like, it fucked me up. Like, I was like, yo, man, I know why y'all make the low guy on the totem pole go get the fucking trays now. And I just want to let you know.
It's so
as soon as you motherfuckers hire somebody under me, I'm not doing that shit. Never again. Because it was fucking crazy, man. Because the way this place worked, the people that couldn't take care of themselves lived off in this wing, and that's the people I dealt with. But then the other part of it was like shuffleboard and fucking bingo nights, and these people lived together. And like some people, like if they're like, say you and your wife live there, and your wife starts, you know, getting in bad health, they'll take your wife to the medical wing, and you get to keep living the fucking bachelor life over here with the shuffleboard and the pool classes, and Gladys with the fat ass. You know, like you get to keep doing that. It's fucking crazy, man.
It is pretty crazy.
And they charge these old people out the fucking ass for this. So like I said, when I watched this movie, I had a special appreciation of myself. Like I was just like, yo, man, fuck this bitch. Like,
yeah, I completely forgot about that. So this has like a different meaning to you than, you know, somebody that doesn't really know what's going on.
And I mean, my grandfather put my great grandmother in a place like this. Not that it was this bad, obviously, and he was not around, so somebody had to take care of her.
Right.
But I don't think I could ever do that to one of my parents, man. I don't think I could put them in a place like that.
I don't think I could either.
I feel like it's your job. You know what I mean? They raised you. They took care of you. Like, at the end of their lives, man, you can be there for them.
Right.
You know, I just feel like that's part of it. You know, I hope my fucking kids want to take care of me when I get old. You know,
that's the problem with like we don't have kids, so I don't know what we're gonna do.
Yeah, man. Well, you could pay some hot young bitch to sponge bath you if you want.
That's
dude.
true.
Like, you might have it better than me. My kids may think I'm an asshole and not take care of me at all.
That's very true.
I could end up in a home.
The way you're going.
Yeah. But yeah, dude. Like, anyways.
So it's her doctor friend like gives her patients that she thinks, and she calls them cherries. And it's basically somebody that doesn't have any ties. They don't have any kids. They don't have a husband. They got a bunch of money.
This lady has like
easy target.
Super like Karen name. You know, I think her name's Julie Peterson or some shit like that. And they just go on about their day, you know. She robs her, takes her, dopes her up, you know. And a couple weeks go by, and this woman is she's got a right hand woman who turns out they have a relationship. Surprise, I wasn't shocked by that at all. But they're like a Thelma and Louise type, you know.
Yeah.
And she's painting the house, getting ready to sell it. This fucking dude shows up in a taxi, and he's like, "I'm here to pick up Mrs. Peterson." She's like, "Oh, she doesn't live here anymore." And he's like, "What do you mean she doesn't live here anymore?" And she's like, "Yeah, she doesn't live here anymore. Bye." And it's just like shuts the door. So
right when that happened, I had a light bulb. I was like, what if this lady was tied to like a mobster? And I was like, that's a really cool concept for a movie. Like, she gets taken away, she's actually tied to the mob, and sure enough, that guy drives to Peter fucking Dinklage,
who's like this fucking supposed to be like this Russian, you know, crazy mobster or whatever. I didn't think they did a very good job of making him look like a Russian mob boss. Like, it looked like he just had regular fucking dudes working for him.
Right.
Like, the one guy's name was Alexei, the one driving the cab. And I'm just like, this guy's supposed to be a made mafia dude. He's driving a fucking cab. Like, they treat this guy like shit.
Yeah. That's the only problem I had is, like, it didn't feel like a real mobster.
I feel like they would have been just better if he would have just been like a gangster. Just like a regular run-of-the-mill, like, oh, this guy runs numbers or whatever. And like...
Yeah, but they had to throw the Russian mobster.
Yeah, I was just like, did you have to? I don't know. I gotta get it. And like when she strips him down and leaves him in the woods, like he ain't got it like covered in Russian tattoos.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Like I'm thinking like this dude, you know, being I don't know what to call his condition. I don't know if they're called little dwarves, midgets. I don't.
You don't know what the right terminology is right now. Like what's proper,
right? You know what I mean? I don't know what's the hot issue, but like. I don't know if they had to make him a mob boss, but like in my mind, if he's that way, like, you know, you got to be a hardcore motherfucker to become to the top of a criminal organization because you know they're going to fuck with you. Nobody's going to take you seriously because you're a small guy.
Right.
And then like, I'm expecting this dude to be Scarface. You know what I mean? But Peter Dinklage did a pretty good job.
He did a great job.
And he really carried this fucking movie, in my opinion. Like,
I think the girl did a good job for the most part.
She did a great job playing, like, she made me fucking hate her. Like, she did a good job acting in it.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. It's just her character. Like, they made it almost seem like she was the one you're supposed to be rooting for, but you're like...
That's the problem I like halfway through this movie. So finally Peter Dinklage is like trying to take her out because she has his mom and she won't let her go because it's some power trip. And so Peter Dinklage
she
is
was
like
$10 million and he's like, fuck you.
Initially she wants $5 million.
Oh, is that what it was?
Because the guy offered her
300,000.
150,000. She's like, if you're offering that, then I know you can go higher. He's like, max 300,000. She's like, that's pennies. Want $5 million.
You tell your boss I want $5 million. Yeah.
Yeah. So finally, Peter Dinklage is like, fuck all this. I'll just put a hit on her. Tries to take her out, and that's the part where it kind of lost me. Where I almost shut the movie off because I'm like,
off too, bro. Because like you shot that doctor in the fucking head like she wasn't shit, and then you're gonna fucking make it look like this bitch got drunk and fucking drove into a lake. Like, what the fuck?
Well, I didn't like the whole like making her hate her because you really did hate this character a lot, and it felt like she had a redemption story or
there was no redemption. Like she had no intention of not fucking people over.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I had. There was no redeeming quality about this character. So every time she got away from death, I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
same.
What the fuck, dude? Like,
yeah, because
kill this bitch already.
Because there's no like real protagonist, I guess.
No, it's just antagonist versus worse antagonist, in my opinion. Like, and then that was probably what I hated the most about the ending, man. Like, I mean, because like I said, it's a mini review, folks.
Yeah, we're going to have to run through it pretty quick.
There's some funny shit in it. Peter Dinklage is fucking gold. I give it that. But at the end of the movie, he just like, he can't fucking take it anymore. He's like, let's just work together.
You didn't like that?
I didn't like that part.
Okay, so as this was going, I'm like, okay, I'm trying to play it out in my head before the end is coming. I'm like, if she kills him, she has a redemption arc, and what's the point of the movie? Like, you hated her and she wins? Like, fuck this movie. I would hate it. Okay, Peter Dinklage kills her, gets his grandmother back, and I'm like,
his mother.
That would, or yeah, his mother. Get her, that might work, maybe, but then it's kind of like, well, what's the point? Like, she is a shitty person and she dies? Yeah, that's kind of what happens. And in my head, I was like, the only way they could make this work is if Peter Dinklage and this lady get together and start working together, and then they did it. I was like, fuck yeah, it works.
No,
Because how else would you do it? How else would you end this movie?
Just how they fucking did it, bro. It was that much fucking sweeter, dude. She becomes a fucking overnight success, a fucking Forbes list billionaire bitch. She's running shit. And the same motherfucker from scene 1 ends that bitch. My mom died in that shithole you left her in.
Yeah.
Boom! And shoots this bitch, and she dies in her lover's arms in a parking lot.
Yeah.
That's how you fucking get back, dog.
Right.
That saved the whole fucking movie, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I stood up in my living room and fucking clapped. Like... Yeah, dude.
We did too. My wife and I were like, "Fuck yes."
My wife's like, I almost said "fuck that movie" to everybody that I'd ever seen it with, that would have asked me about it. She's like, but now I'm gonna tell everybody to see it.
Yeah,
yeah. So
yeah,
because that's you know what, and it's been a rough time in history as of late. You know, good people need a win like that every now and then, and it's terrible to say that just somebody getting shot was a good thing. But in that situation, bro,
she's a shitty person. She's
humanity
using people.
Needed that fucking win, bro.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then and I just remember thinking, like, man, these fucking Netflix movies have gotten truly good. Man.
They've gotten a lot better
have truly gotten better.
Because I know a few years ago they were dog shit. Like
they were hit and miss. Like I had to find one that I kind of liked, and then there'd be a couple terrible ones. You know,
I've seen like the worst movie ever. Like it has no redeeming qualities. It's not like fun to watch. Bad. I think it's called Open House. Did you watch that one?
Sounds familiar.
It's I think it's kind of like a slasher movie. This lady's like showing a house, and I don't remember it, but I just remember hating that movie. And I was like, fuck these Netflix movies.
Well, they started throwing some star power in them, some money.
Yeah.
Some fucking real directors.
Oh, well, I saw Peter Dinklage, and I know he usually doesn't take shitty roles outside of Pixels, but, you know.
Fuck you, bro. Pixels is good.
Fuck off.
Pixels is good, bro. You just have to learn to be a child every now and then, man. Like
I just felt like it was a cash grab, but usually he picks pretty good roles. So I'm like,
because if it was a cash grab, I feel like you get a better franchise than fucking Namco. Right. Like you get Zelda, you know what I mean. You get something crazy. If you're going Aliens, go Halo. Yeah, don't go for fucking Mr. and Mrs. Pac-Man and shit. Like, where's about that?
Fuck that movie. So what'd you think of I Care a Lot? I recommended it because I wasn't sure how you would like it, but I liked the mafia aspect to it, so I
did
figured
too,
you might,
and
get a kick out of it.
I enjoyed it. If I would have wrote it, I would have changed a couple things, but because I kind of played around with an idea like that in my head for a couple of years, that not necessarily the mother gets put in a home, but the mom dates a dude that's just a normal guy, and then she finds out that her son is a fucking mob boss or whatever, and then he finds out that his mom's dating somebody, and then that would be the whole movie is like him trying to fucking get the boyfriend out of her life, and him just being like, I love your mom, man, I don't want to go anywhere, like, and they have to kind of like find a way to coexist. I think that would be a funny movie. Like you could cash in on that.
Yeah, it's very meet the Fockers or.
Kinda, but you actually get to see the son do some gangster shit in the movie too.
True, yeah. Like
that would be like a funny part of it. Like they end up killing somebody, and him and the fucking boyfriend have to get rid of the body, and the boyfriend's like a normal guy. Oh my god, we gotta get rid of this fucking
that
body.
Would be pretty funny. Is like a normal person accidentally having to do mob shit.
That's what I'm saying.
That's pretty funny. Okay,
it's kind of like Mickey Blue Eyes a little bit.
Yeah, I see where you're going with it. That is pretty funny.
That would be good though. Here, get rid of this. It's a fucking gun. Get rid of it. Throw it over there somewhere. Like a fucking kid can find it. Like
he throws it in a trash can. What the fuck?
Or no, a recycling bin. It's metal. They can melt it down.
What are you talking about?
I've been throwing it in fucking water so a fish can eat it. Like, it's just something stupid like that. But you could get like fucking Napoleon Dynamite to play the boyfriend or whatever, and then like I guess it has to be an older guy. But yeah. Just get like this dad of the year, dude, and then have like the young gangster motherfucker to fill that out. But that would be hilarious. Man.
That would be pretty funny.
Netflix is listening to our podcast going, we just got our next 5 movies, guys.
I know, right? We're throwing out all these.
To stop giving out these gems for free.
If someone's making it, just send us a check.
Dude, for real, bro. Just give us writing credit.
Yeah, just give us a writing credit. Send us $1,000 each. Like, we're cheap. We could be bought.
For sure, we could be bought. I've said this many times on this podcast. We can definitely be bought.
So you liked it? You recommend it?
Yeah, I'm gonna give it an 8.
Damn, that's higher than the Possessor movie.
Well, when the more we got to talking about it, the more I was like, yeah, but there was some good shit that one too.
I give it a highly recommended. Everyone has Netflix. Check it out. It's called I Care a Lot.
You know what else coming out on Netflix I'm looking forward to? Army of the Dead. Zack Snyder going back to zombie movies. It's got Bautista in it.
Yeah, everyone's pretty excited. He's pretty excited about it because he has full creative liberties.
Oh, yeah, folks. And I know we've talked about it before, but we only got, let's see, 12 more days? 12 more days, baby. Snyder Cut. Snyder Cut episodes, y'all. There's going to be 6 parts.
6 parts? I thought it was 4.
That's what I thought. They're doing 6 parts.
They might break some of them up a little bit. I don't know.
I don't know either. But they all got names, and they're supposed to be like meaningful names that have like something to do with the plot.
Well, I'm excited to watch it.
This movie's a movement, dude.
It's going to be like a new way to do things.
I'm just going to be glad that I'm going to be there for it. So
right.
I saw it. You know
We're seeing a lot of like changes in history.
Dude, it's just like
movie wise and stuff like that.
I feel bad for movie studios right now, like having to find new ways to get created. They said fucking Wonder Woman lost $100 million.
84?
Yeah.
Good. It should have.
But dude, think about it. Even if it had been just that bad, bro, like it still would have made some of its money back because people wouldn't have known until a couple weekends. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but it's incentive to make better movies. Like
True.
You can't just throw things in the theater and then get that, opening weekend money. Because that's what they always banked on is like you bank on a name, people go and see it, you make all your money back, and then everything on top is just extra.
I don't think I've ever been that surprised at how just like not as good as it was,
Yeah.
As far as comic book movies go, man, like I don't think I've ever been that let down except for like Wolverine's Origins type shit, Daredevil type shit, you know, like. But Netflix redeemed that for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like I felt like if we never get another Daredevil movie, just what we saw in the 3 seasons on Netflix makes it okay for me.
Yeah.
In Defenders, like that was 4 seasons of a show we got to watch with Charlie Cox's Daredevil, man, and I'm perfectly fine with that.
Right.
Like,
yeah, just leave Daredevil alone.
He fucking killed it, dude. Like,
did.
if you are going to bring back Daredevil or you're going to put him in an MCU movie, you better fucking use that, man.
Right.
Because that is Daredevil to me.
Mm-hmm.
Just like John Barenthal, like, that's the fucking Punisher to me, dude.
That's the only problem about the live action thing is, like, you get so tied to that person playing that character. Like, if they try and do Iron Man again, it's going to be like, if it's not...
That's true. Wolverine's going to be another tough one. Dude, somebody said the other day that they were talking about Daniel fucking Radcliffe playing Wolverine. If y'all make motherfucking Harry Potter Wolverine, bro, I will stop watching fucking MCU movies. I'm serious, bro. I like Daniel Radcliffe, bro. I think he's a phenomenal fucking actor in some things, bro. But he's not Wolverine, dog. He's not Wolverine.
You haven't seen him yet.
We're supposed to get Tom Hardy, bro. Somebody fucking awesome to play
I would love
that
to
role.
see Tom Hardy play Sabretooth.
I would love to see anybody else but fucking Harry Potter play. Dude, it's bad enough we already got to deal with Twilight as fucking Batman, bro, and he's killing that shit too. He got fucking Catwoman pregnant. Him and Matt Reeves are on fucking fist fighting each other on the set of that movie. Like, he's ruining Batman, bro. What the fuck? You can't do this shit again, bro. Come on, Warner Brothers. Tighten the fuck up. Do not do this. Or not Warner Brothers, sorry. Don't do this, Disney. Yeah. Don't fucking do this to your franchise.
Right.
Like, y'all have made every decision perfectly up until this point. Do not do that shit. Like, that will... I'm telling you, I can't be alone in this, man.
I'm not saying that I want to see Daniel Radcliffe play Wolverine, but he's a good actor. Give him a shot.
Dude, there's no... If this fucking guy lived in the gym for fucking years, bro, he's not going to look like Wolverine, bro. He can't even grow the right facial hair for that shit, bro. He's not Wolverine, dude.
Yeah, you're not wrong. But Hugh Jackman can't play him forever.
That's fine. I'm a realist. You know what I'm saying? But, like, just don't make any more Wolverine movies.
That's fair. Yeah,
dude, you can
go out on top with Logan.
Dude, honestly, you could make a whole X-Men franchise and leave Wolverine out because the first 2 iterations of X-Men through the 60s and 70s did not have Wolverine in the motherfuckers. Mm-hmm. Wolverine didn't show up until like the 80s. So, I mean, you could make a whole X-Men franchise. Like, you just had like Wolverine ain't there no more.
Right.
I could live with that. That'd be like, I don't want to see another Deadpool. Like Ryan Reynolds is Deadpool until he's not alive anymore.
This is very true because no one's going to be able to play Deadpool
And
like
dude,
Ryan
the greatest
Reynolds
thing
does.
about it is he looks like a ball sack without his fucking mask on anyway. So who cares if he's 50? As long as he can still hit witty banter and CGI and fucking chopping people up with them samurai swords and shit. Like, fuck it, dude. He's like, oh, I got to be in fantastic shape to be Deadpool. No, you don't, bro. Just don't fucking be a fat shit like me. Like, you're just a happy medium in there, dude. Just maybe 10 crunches a day, not 100. Like, eat what you want, but, just keep running. That type of deal.
I feel like Ryan Reynolds has one of those bodies that would be such a travesty if he ever got fat. I'd be like, so what a waste.
I bet that's what he jerks off to.
Himself?
Is getting fat. No, it's getting fat. Like being
I see what you're saying.
Not give a fuck.
Letting himself go. He's just like,
'cause
oh, yeah.
I'm sure every day of his life, it's fucking eating this, doing this, working out, running, all this other bullshit. Like, I bet that dude just wishes he could wake up and eat a bowl of cereal out of a fucking, like, lard milk, like... Yeah, he probably just wishes he could eat the
He looks at
nasty
Russell
shit.
Crowe and he's like, he's doing it right.
This guy, man.
He's
This guy
living
knows
life.
what I'm talking about. He's got an Oscar, though. I don't. So I got to get there.
He'll get his Oscar and then he'll just let himself go.
Yeah, Ryan has to make that decision whether he wants to be a rich actor, like a super rich actor, or he wants to be like a taken serious actor.
Yeah.
Very rare is it both. Look at DiCaprio is one of them that comes to mind. That guy's got the money and the fucking credits. Like, a man don't fuck with the movie unless he knows it's going to get some attention. Tom Hanks was one until the scandal.
Will Smith.
Will Smith is that guy.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, he's dabbled in it. Yeah, but it's always a hit or it's always an attention
For the most
grabber.
part, it's a hit, yeah.
Yeah, lately he's been struggling. He's got a couple ones that have been questionable. But
speaking of recommendations, I watched another one
Brad
that...
Pitt.
Oh, yeah, Brad Pitt is definitely one of them. I watched a show. It's a limited series on Netflix. I don't think it'll be up your alley, but like your wife will probably like it.
You talking about that Queen's Gambit shit?
Well, that's a great movie and you should watch that, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Behind Her Eyes.
I think she watches that.
Yeah?
I think she does.
It's a good show.
Yeah, I think my wife has watched that.
Oh, I don't want to give any spoilers. It's hard to talk about it without spoilers, but it's a pretty crazy movie.
I think she was trying to explain it to me, and I was like, that sounds like a fucking headache.
Yeah, it's kind of a chick flick, but this guy has been with this girl for like 10 years. She came out of she was in an insane asylum, and you can tell he's miserable. He starts cheating on her with this girl, and the girl finds out about everything and starts digging into their past, and it gets like super interesting. That's as much as I'll say.
I have to give it a watch. Said it's a season or
Limited series. Well, they might keep going. I don't think it might be a limited series. It's just one season.
How many episodes? Like 8?
6, I think. I want to say 6 or 7.
I might give it a watch.
It was a pretty good movie. Like halfway through, you're gonna be like, "What the fuck am I watching?" But if you keep through it, it has like a good payoff.
You know what movie I'm going to watch tonight?
What?
Coming to America 2.
Is that coming out tonight?
It was out 2 days ago, bro. We're behind on that one.
Oh, I see.
But we're Amazon Prime members, so we get it for free, bitch.
Oh shit.
So yeah, me and the wife are gonna watch that one later.
That's a good idea. I might have to watch that too.
I love Coming to America.
Eddie Murphy's making a comeback with the Dynamite.
I haven't watched it. It's on my list.
Watch it. It's so good. So good. He did such a good job with that movie.
Well, I like Rudy Ray Moore, the original Dynamite. I think he's funny.
I think he does a good job playing, portraying him.
But yeah. So next week, is it my turn to pick?
Yeah, you told me you were going to give me that Matthew McConaughey movie. I think I saw it on something.
Oh yeah, 2 for the Money.
Yeah. 2 for the Money.
Yeah,
or unless you wanted to change it.
Trying to think if there was something I wanted you to watch more. Yeah, we'll do 2 for the Money.
2 for the Money?
Yeah, I haven't watched it in a while. I'll throw it on.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds like a plan.
It's a great cast. It's Pacino and McConaughey on the come up, and what's her name? Renee or something like that.
Yeah, I was searching.
She was in Get Shorty.
Oh, I see. I was searching through some movies on one of the streaming platforms, and 2 for the Money came up. I was like, oh, I think that's what Nick gave me. I was gonna watch
Renee
it.
Russo. Now that I'm thinking about it,
I see. Yeah. Well, sounds like a plan. I don't have anything else.
Yeah, man. I thought that was crazy though. I got 2 pretty good movies to watch back to back.
I know Brick, Possessor. I'm gonna have to dig deep next time. Well, I was gonna give you Mud.
I do want to watch Mud.
Yeah, but it's another one you're gonna like. I don't like this.
I may not like it. I don't like every McConaughey movie.
That's very true.
But yeah. But all right, man.
All right, next time, 2 for the money.
Later, y'all.
Later.